Thank you much. With that, I'm delighted to introduce our speaker today, Matt Anderson with Branched Oak Observatory. And so I've been looking forward to hearing about this because it's a program I don't know much about. So Matt, take it away.
Very good, thank you. And we've got good audio there.
Oh wait, I need to interrupt, sorry.
Yes.
We do have a drawing today.
Oh, outstanding.
It is for a Perk Up Thursday t-shirt. So if you're interested in this bad boy, put your name in the coffee pot here and we will draw at the end. We'll have Matt do the drawing.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
She's not
Well, my name is Matt Anderson. I am the Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of the Branched Oak Observatory. And we are located about 25 miles northwest of Lincoln, near Branched Oak Lake, but not in the recreation area itself. It's on our property. And if you'd like to find out exactly where we are, you can just Google Branched Oak Observatory and we pop up right there on the top. Because actually we're the only Branched Oak Observatory in the world, so that makes it pretty easy for Google Analytics to stick us right on top. So that was very nice. Just a real quick snapshot. So we have on our grounds, we have your more traditional domed observatory. Everybody sees a domed observatory. Everybody driven past the University of Nebraska, the stadium there. You see the dome on there. Ours looks just like that, except ours is 2 foot bigger. And then we also have what's called a roll-off style observatory. So if anybody here has been to Hyde over here at Holmes Lake, looks like a regular building, but the roof rolls back, which is kind of unique. And then we have 4 concrete piers in there. And then we have currently 3 of the 4 concrete piers has telescopes mounted permanently to that. And then we use that for astrophotography. So we like take pictures of the night sky. We also have a visitor center. And then we also have a classroom. And the classroom allows us to have up to 30 students. And this is a great place where we can hold lectures. We can bring in school groups, small groups. And so that's kind of a quick little snapshot of who we are here. A couple things here. I have my business cards in the back and also have this thing here, this little postcard. This is kind of unique here in the fact this is what we call a QSL card. I'm a licensed amateur radio operator, and one of the things we do in part of our outreach is that we hold what we call special event station. And I just basically get on the radio and tell them a little bit about the observatory, and then people from all over the world want to know something. So we send this little postcard. This has gone all over the globe, and as of right now, we've been about 11,000 people that we have reached out to. So you can please take one of these. This is a very nice picture taken of the Orion Nebula by Michael Sebrenson, who is also a co-founder and a good friend of mine here. So that's in back if you'd like to take that. So anyway, I had originally thought, had it in my mind I was going to do this PowerPoint, had this all PowerPoint all put together, and my flash drive took a nosedive and I go nuts. So I said, okay, I'm going to print out, we're going to do old school. And he goes, well, that's how we do it anyway. So I've only been here. So this is our logo, Branched Oak Observatory. So in the beginning, we started off as basically as an open farm field. How we got started was Michael Sebrenson, who's this gentleman right here, he's a lecturer of astronomy here at the University of Nebraska, Lincoln, contacted me 4.5 years ago. He says, hey Matt, I just got a brand new job. It says I'm a lecturer of astronomy at the university and I have 400 students. We're looking for a place for them to take a look, be able to view the night sky. Do you know of any? I said, well, we just moved out to this acreage 6 months ago. It's pretty dark out here. Why don't you come take a look? So he came on out the next evening and he liked what he saw. And I said, well, hey, let's invite some students out. And so we made an invitation. We had 60 students show up and some people, some friends of the students come on out. We go, oh, this is kind of interesting. Now, mind you, this is a farm field. It's about 1.5 acres, 2 acres. Your typical farm field, tall cane, wood brush pile, trees, and we've got a spot about as big as this room here that, you can get into. And so we had 60 people packed into that, and it was pretty exciting. And he goes, well, let's try opening this up to the general public. They're like, okay, we'll give that a whirl. We had 120 people show up the following month, and so we go, I think we're on to something here. And a little history about Michael and I. We both come out of the nonprofit world. I was the facility manager at the Strategic Air Command Museum for 10 years. Michael Sebrenson was our technology guru guy, I call him. And so we started doing evening events. We started working with the Cub Scouts and different groups and overnights and so forth. And we got started doing that, and that's how I got reintroduced to the night sky. Just a real quick thing here, when everybody was maybe younger, did anybody have a telescope given to them as a kid or as a Christmas gift or anything like that, right? Okay. What do you remember? What the first thing that you saw? Was it was it one of the planets or the moon?
The moon.
Moon. Right. Anybody see any planets? Mars. There you go. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, the moon, top objects of the night sky. I was 12 years old, got my first telescope, go out there freezing my tail off, and the first thing I saw was Saturn. It was amazing to me to see this object that was millions of miles away with the ring around it there, and I was hooked. But you know, life gets in the way. Got married, got a career, got all that kind of stuff here, and then here we are. See, I'm 57, so 4.5 years later, 53-ish. Michael Severinson and I, we always kept track with each other, and astronomy came back into my life. So that's it right there. So a labor of love. So everything that we do out there, we have done by ourselves. We have, this is our first, trying to figure out the best way to do that. So our concrete pier, this is the very first thing that we did. As you can see, it's a labor of love. Okay, we mixed all that concrete. Anybody here mix concrete by hand? Okay, so we have a 6 foot by 6 foot pad with that. Any guess at how many bags of concrete that is?
40.
Keep going.
Really?
120 bags of concrete.
Wow.
Yeah, all mixed by hand. And so we started off, you know, with doing this, and they're like, oh, that's not going to be enough. So we made repeated trips back to Home Depot. It was pretty crazy. And there we are, of course, mixing again here. I'm not quite sure the best way to do this here. How about that? So there we are there. And some more. And, you know, an organization like this, and first of all, I should say that Branch Oak Observatory, we are a nonprofit. So that was one of the very first things that we wanted to do, is set ourselves up as a nonprofit, because our vision was to be able to reach out to the general public. We just didn't want this to be the Matt and Michael Club. We wanted to be able to enjoy and have the public come on out. And coming from the nonprofit world, we learned an awful lot. We learned what worked, what didn't. And the biggest thing is that you don't promise what you can't deliver on. It's a great business model. So we are very transparent about the dollars that we receive and what we spend it on. We put it right out there on Facebook. Hey, we got a $500 donation, and this is what we spent it on, so people can see that. But anyway, volunteers are absolutely fantastic. So one of the things that we do, one of the first projects that we were working on was our dome. And this is how they did it back in the old days. They had, as you can see, a lot of people there that were working on that there. And this is actually the Michael or the Everett S. Severinson Memorial Observatory. This is our domed observatory. This is a dome that was donated to us by a family up in Omaha. It's called an ash dome. The ash dome itself is a professional, it's what you see at the universities and so forth, and this was the very first thing that somebody had donated to us. The one question they asked for us, it says, well, we wanted to buy this, and the question that they asked was, how much are you going to charge for people when they come? And he says, well, we're not going to charge people anything. They go, and that's the right answer. And so brand new, a dome like this is about a $40,000 to $50,000 dome. So the in-kind donation, that's a used dome, it's about 40 years old. It's about $20,000. When we wrote back to the company, because we were looking for the instructions, as you can imagine, it came all disassembled, right? So here we have all these pie-shaped pieces and bolts and everything, and we wrote back to the ash company, and they go, oh yeah, we've got the instruction manual. You've still got one of those domes? And they sent us everything that we needed in order to put that dome together. It was really pretty incredible. This is what it looks like today. We have a control room off to the side here. Sorry about that, guys, here. I keep forgetting. I got audience in back here as well. And we're very happy about that. This is a little snapshot on the inside of the dome here. This concrete pier mount right here, that's where we're going to put our research grade scope on there. What you don't see about that is it sits about this high, right? And it goes to the ground, but what you don't see is the 5 foot by 5 foot by 5 foot concrete base, 21,000 pounds of concrete. Now, we did not mix that by hand, by the way. we did get smart, and we brought out a concrete truck to be able to put that together there. This is a picture of the control room here, so we're very, very pleased about that there. What's nice about that here is that big TV right there. That is going to be used for people who cannot actively get to the telescope, because we realize accessibility is an issue with folks today. I have a son born with spina bifida, so he's in a wheelchair, so I'm very cognizant of that. Elderly folks, just people who are not physically able to look into the eyepiece, and so they'll be able to come in and they'll be able to see exactly what we're looking at, because we'll have a following scope on there. And actually, in many respects, that picture over time, when we're focused on an object, because of the technology we use, will actually get better than the person being able to see through the eyepiece. So that'll be kind of a neat thing. And then the two computers on the side there will be able to control the main scope and then the following scope as well. This is one of the telescopes that we have here. This is in our roll-off observatory. This is called a 6-inch APO refractor. This is a very high caliber telescope here. You're probably looking at, if you're going to place a dollar amount, probably in the $30,000 to $35,000 range as far as what the quality of this type of scope here, using for astrophotography, so we can hook up your digital SLR onto that, and we get fantastic photos. Here's another shot of the night. We use red lights course in there. Red lights, red lights allow us to easily see what's going on without affecting your retina, because if you've ever been out looking at something dark, then have a car drive by, and then your eyes go, whoop, sorry. That'll be great on YouTube. So we have those lights there. Here is a picture that we've taken here. This is the Whirlpool Galaxy. This was taken at the observatory. So it's pretty amazing there. I really kind of like that shot here. This one here is the Veil Nebula. That's a nice one there as well. And of course, everybody remembers the eclipse. We were heavily involved in the eclipse. Not only were we taking pictures like everybody else, Michael Sorensen and his wife toured the state and gave lectures about proper viewing for the, how to take pictures and, safety and so forth. And I think they talked to well over 3,000 or 4,000 people statewide. And this is all on their own dime. We also have a classroom. It's called the LaRue Coffee and Roastery classroom here. This is just a snapshot of one side there. You see those computers. Everything that you see in there has been donated to us. We are very, very fortunate. We go to the UNL property auction, and that's a great place if you've never been there. It's a great place to pick up stuff for us. We were building a classroom. So those tables that you saw right there, I think we spent $30 for all those tables. There's some tables around the perimeter there. We picked up 10 of them for $5. It was just incredible. And anyway, the computers here were actually donated by a local business here, Computer Hardware, which we're very thankful to. And they're not, the belle of the ball. They're not like new. They're several model years old, but not insignificant. And this allows us to be able to have an opportunity which kids be able to get on the computers. And actually one of our new partners, which is Big Red Communications, they're going to provide for us all the internet access for free, which is really exciting, because one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is being able to reach out to the community itself. And this coming year here, we're working with the Lincoln Public Schools, and we're going to start getting kids to come out to do field trips out to the observatory. So we're very excited about that. Here's just showing a picture here of some of the interaction here. We do get people that come on in and enjoy what we have. So the classroom serves several purposes. One is obviously to be able to teach and inspire kids, but we also have it there because, when we do what we call events called star parties, every time we have one, it's not necessarily clear skies, right? Our telescopes cannot look through the clouds. We haven't got that kind of technology yet for us. So when that happens, we have a lecture that we can do. And so people who come on out can still see some, or get some great education here. Michael Sorensen, as I say, he's done a tremendous amount of speaking here. And here he has a nice award from the Nebraska Academy of Sciences as a Friend of the Science Award. And this is a very prestigious award. This is handed out, or is awarded annually. to one particular educator or scientist in the state of Nebraska, and we feel very privileged to have him to be able to receive that award. Here's also we have a visitor center. This here, the visitor center was actually a building that was donated to us, one of the first buildings by Talon Steel Builders. It was actually one of the sheds, that was already put together, and originally we just had it as storage. And then a year and a half ago, before our event called our Starbecue, we got it all put together, and so we wired it, insulated it, got it all finished off. And so this is a great place for people to come in. We've got flat screen TV on there, so we have a rotating demo about like, what are you going to see tonight? So they have an idea. So also a place in the winter time, because remember we talked about earlier when I was a young kid going out watching or looking through the telescope and it was cold. Run back inside for warm up. Well, a lot of astronomers don't have that option, unless you want to go back to your car. But now we have this nice place where people can go in, warm up, have hot chocolate, have coffee, sit down, and then be able to go out and be able to extend their stay and enjoy the night sky. One of the other events, like I said, we do outreach here. We are at the Strategic Air Command Museum here. And in this particular event here, they also had the Star Wars folks out there. They had about 3,000 people that walked right past. We were doing solar viewing. That's one of the things that we can do. Everybody, when you're growing up, did your mom tell you never look at the sun, right? Yeah? Yeah, well, we can do that. But we do it safely. And so we were getting a lot of folks, that little shiny thing right on there is a filter. It filters out 99.99% of the harmful rays. But we have a couple other ways we teach kids, and that's one of the things that we can do in our outreach is be able to show them how they can do something very safely with a piece of cardboard, a pencil, or paper, put a little hole in it, be able to show it at the sun, and be able to see very safely what the sun looks like. And here we are. We have some youngsters here, just another couple of different solar scopes out at the Branch Oak Observatory. And every month we have people that come on out to the observatory. We've been open for 4.5 years. And in that 4.5 years, we've had about 4,500 people have walked through our gates, and we don't charge a dime. Because we want people to be interested in science. We want them to be interested in astronomy. Because you're talking about future astronomers, aerospace engineers, astronauts, scientists, chemists, engineers. This is part of STEM education, which we fully endorse, and then we incorporate that into our education. And we feel that getting kids from here to there is very important, because everybody's I'm talking about looking at the phones, right? So every month we have what's called a star party. And that we can have anywhere from a couple dozen to a couple hundred people depending upon the time of year and the objects that we're looking at. Every year we have what's called our Starbecue, which is an annual event that we thank the people within the community. We thank our sponsors and our donors for supporting us during the year. This year it was going to be this Saturday, which is part of the reason I actually had scheduled this, was just kind of talk a little bit about it. But we've had rain, and so it hasn't been real conducive to having nice grounds and stuff. So we're putting it off until next Saturday. So if you'd like to come out, first of all, free food. Yeah, everybody likes free food. So we got free pizza. We're gonna have raffle drawings. We're going to be raffling off some great telescopes, and I mean some really nice telescopes, and also get a chance to look at some. We have some gentleman coming out who's going to bring out his 24-inch Dob. So that's a big scope. You're going to need a step ladder in order to get to the eyepiece out there. And so if you go on to Facebook, our Starbecue, we'd like to have you come out. It's free, so it's a cheap date. It's free, great way to bring out family, kids, grandkids. Our main demographic really is children and young families, because we feel that's where the future is. And we actually, we kind of really went after that particular demographic, and it's really held up true. So we get a lot of families and stuff, and we've had people bring out their babies. I'm talking like newborns, and they're taking them, putting them up there. Hey, look into the eyepiece. The kids, it's amazing. Kids have fresh eyes, and they can see things that we don't. And it's really amazing. And the neat thing is when a kid looks into a telescope for the first time and they go, wow, oh, that makes it all worth it. So how do we make this work, right? So that's a lot that we have going on. So we're very fortunate in the fact that we have a great relationship with some businesses within the community who have stepped up and have donated product, dollars, and of their time. And that is really based upon relationships, isn't it? Whether you're in business in a for-profit world, I come out of being in business for 42 years. My current job, I made a complete career change here back in April, but all those connections that I had, I took advantage of. Being able to reach out and say, hey, this is what we're doing here at the Branched Oak Observatory. Tell them a little bit about what we're doing, where we're going, where we've been, and see if they would like to partner along with us. And we're very excited about where we are going. It's kind of hard to show in pictures here without actually having you come out and take a look, because you can look at the field right next to us, and that's what our observatory field looked like to where it is today. So we are located up near Branched Oak Lake, but not in the recreation area. We're about a half a mile south on Northwest 98th Street. So if you like say just Google Branched Oak Observatory, Google Maps will take you right there. We have a sign. We have a big 4x8 sign that says Branched Oak Observatory, left half mile. And then we also have a sign at the entrance. So that should generally get you there. We're actually open. We're open year round. We never shut down per se. Where we have our volunteers at our star parties, so we'll have people there that will be able to come out and be able to open up the buildings and show you the night sky. But if a person wants to come out with their own telescopes, or you don't have to have telescopes, you just want to come out and find a decent place to look at the night sky, you can do that. No reservation or anything is required. Just come on out and drive out. The latest addition that we have out there is that we put some additional concrete pads, and you're going, concrete pads, what's that all about? Well, of course, you either have the ground, right, or you have the concrete viewing pads. So we have 8 8x8 concrete pads, so people can set their telescopes on it. And then we have one big, our mega pad, which is a 30-foot by 30-foot pad. And this turn has been turning out to be great. We've only had it in there for about a month. When the Perseus meteor showers came through, we had a lot of people, they brought out their blankets and their chairs and stuff, and the whole thing was covered with people. And it was really incredible as they're sitting there and looking at the meteors, and that was really pretty cool. Oh, and just a real quick thing too, so you have meteors, right, that you see. Meteorites are what strike the ground. So that's the terminology, and actually we have a great meteorite collection. Michael Servenson has one of the best personal collections of meteorites probably in the Midwest, and we have that in our classroom. And he frequently has a hands-on, because you're not going to hurt a meteorite, has a hands-on demonstration, so you can actually hold something that's been out in outer space. Isn't that cool? Be able to do that kind of thing. So we're very excited about being able to do things like that. And I think he's going to probably do something with that during our Starbecue here, so it'll be an opportunity in which to hold a space object there. So like I say, we've been around for 4.5 years. We have grown by leaps and bounds. We've had great community support. Mostly, going out and just talking with people, telling you, education, people want to invest in the children today. Education is so important. There's a lot of things that go on where kids have taken away, the sciences and stuff aren't maybe as strong as they used to be when I was a kid. And we feel that we offer just something really special for kids in general, for kids specifically, but for people in general to be able to come out, get reinvigorated. I can't tell you how many times that people like my age and older come on out and says, says, I had a telescope when I was a kid. It says, I haven't looked through a telescope in 40, 50 years. And to see that in their face again, that, oh wow, gee whiz factor, right? I mean, that's what's really exciting about that, is to have somebody look at that. And just I want you to think about this one thing. The Andromeda Galaxy is the galaxy that we can see with the naked eye, right? It looks like a smudge. And actually, when we look through it in a telescope, it just looks like a little bigger smudge. But the thing is, it's huge. It's got these huge arms on it, this huge spiral galaxy. Well, I want you to think about this for a second. When you are looking into that telescope and you're seeing the light coming out of your telescope, right, from the Andromeda galaxy, that light, that photon, took 2.5 million years traveling to come into that telescope, bounce off that mirror into your eye. 2.5 million years. Now the fact is, folks, we don't know if the Andromeda galaxy is still there because it takes 2.5 million years for it to get to us. Now chances are it is. We'll probably see what happens, and eventually the Andromeda galaxy and our galaxy are going to merge together, and it's going to be this really kind of neat thing going on, but we're probably not going to be around to see it. You know, but isn't that kind of interesting to be able to look and see all the different objects in the sky, being able to see the planets, being able to see the moon, just being able to look at what's out there is absolutely incredible, amazing, and we have a place right literally in Lincoln's backyard. And so we'd like you to, you know, one thing, come on out, check us on out. Social media wise, go to Facebook, like us, share us with your friends. Watch for us. We have 99.999% of our events are free. I think we've only I think we do private events. So if you wanted to come out as a company, we can do a private event, and we do have a small charge for that. You know, we're very, very reasonable there. Gosh, what else can I tell you? Any questions?
Yeah, Matt, I've known you for a little while. You were gracious enough to field all my questions prior to this.
Yes.
I have two quick questions. One, what were the hours on your website? What are the hours of the Starbecue this next Sunday?
The Starbecue, it is from 5 until 11. Now, it's going to go past 11 o'clock, but we have to put a cutoff
And
time.
that's this Saturday.
The 15th. Yeah, it's been.
Last question, which is really my question of interest. All these years, 40 plus years you've been doing this passion and hobby, have you ever known anybody to name their child Nebula? I've always wanted to ask that.
Not offhand. Not offhand. Another question.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You're a nonprofit, so I'm curious about a couple of things.
Mhm.
One is a strategic plan or mission statement, and also your relationship with the board, if you have one.
We do have a board of directors, and thank you for asking. So we do have a board of directors. We have 11 on our board. We made sure that we had an odd number, so we couldn't have in a tie. And then we do have a mission statement, and I should have that memorized, but I don't, but we do have a mission statement. Our motto is that we bring the night sky down to earth, is what our motto is. Yes?
My question is, what kind of fairy dust do you sprinkle on your donors to get them so much donation?
You know,
Really?
yeah, when I go and talk with people for the first time, I don't expect a check right away. You know, I tell them who we are. Just, you know, usually when you're with people, you've got such a short period of time because everybody's busy. Like I said, I was in the sales business, so doing cold calls doesn't bother me at all. But usually somebody knows somebody, you know. And it was just kind of like what we did with the with Talent Steel Builders on the building. We were driving by and we go, hey, that's a nice building. And so we went around, talked, and we originally, the conversation was, well, how much is the building? Would you think about maybe giving us a discount because we're a nonprofit? And then the guy goes, well, tell me a little bit more about it. And then he goes, well, I think what I'll do is I'll talk to the guys that make this building and see what we can do. And then 2 weeks later, he calls up and says, when do you want the building delivered? And I go, well, how much is it? It says, it's not going to cost you anything. So, you know, it's just a matter of just having that conversation, letting them know who you are. People are kind of hemming and hawing, says, hey, come on out, check us out. What makes it easier today is that we have success upon success upon success. I can point to the different things, like the roll-off observatory is donated to us by Brian Civil and Brett Bowler. We call it the Bowler Civil Observatory. These guys took money out of their own pocket and built this with the caveat that we had access to it. And so that's like a $15,000, $20,000 building just in and of itself that they donated. And so the very first thing, of course, we had donated was that dome. And so that's what we pointed to. It says, hey, look, we had somebody that donated a $20,000 dome to us. And that grabs people's attention. Okay, 20,000, that's pretty significant. And when people start to see what you're doing, they either want to be a part of it or they don't. But like I say, we really heavily emphasize about the kids, STEM education, science, and that really seems to resonate well with people. You had a question back there?
Just the hours that open to the general public.
So, for our monthly events, we call our star parties. Typically, that's the last Saturday of every month. The third or fourth Saturday, kind of depends upon the phase of the moon. That's typically runs from like 8 until midnight. You can come out any other time. It's just that we won't have volunteers there, so the buildings are closed up. But if you have a telescope, or if you just want to have a place to be able to come out and sit down and, watch the night sky, look at the Milky Way, you can do that. And we frequently do. There's probably very rarely a night that goes by when the weather's nice that we don't have somebody back there. Any other questions? Oh, yes.
Can you talk a little bit, on my phone I've got an app,
Oh, yeah.
and it's really pretty awesome. It's a star app, and you can point it at this night sky, and it will show you what you're looking at. It'll tell you what you're looking at. It'll show you the constellations you're looking at, it'll help you find things, but
It's
if
free.
you
It's
have
called,
the interest, they're free apps, and they're really pretty awesome.
yeah, I have one that's called Sky Map.
Yeah.
You can just go to the Google Play Store or the iPhone. Download it, and what's neat about it is after you orientate it, you just point it up at the night sky, and it will tell you exactly what you're looking at. And it's really pretty cool. I really like that. That's Sky Map.
Now, my daughters were using, I think, Skyview last night. Is that the same thing?
There's different iterations of that. I really haven't found a bad one at all.
Because they were showing it, and it would show the constellation and a picture of the whole constellation and everything.
Yep, and as you rotate it around there, as you're looking at the night sky, it'll tell you what you can see, and actually probably what you can't see, because they're going to show every object that's available in the night sky.
Well, they were pointing it like at the ground, and it was.
Oh yeah, you can see what would be in the southern
It's
hemisphere.
just like, they're like this, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Any other questions? Well, I want to thank you very much. I do encourage you to come out and check us out. We're on Facebook under Branched Oak Observatory. We do have a website, branchedoakobservatory.com, although most of what we do is on Facebook. It's just a lot more convenient, simple. We have a ton of photos and stuff on there. Encourage you to come on out. If you'd like a personal tour at any time, like say, I live there, so you can give me a phone call or you can shoot me an email. My business card is back there. So I'd like to have you, come on out and take a look, and hopefully we'll see some of you next Saturday, and with an opportunity to be able to have some fun, see Star Wars guys, opportunity for some raffle stuff, and of course to be able to look at the night sky.
Very cool. Man, thank you. Since you serve coffee at your
Yes, we
your
do.
guest room, we want to give you a free coffee.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, thank you.
Very
for being
good.
here
Thanks,
today.
guys. This is great. Thank you so much. Awesome.
Now, if you would, help us pick the winner of this incredible Perk Up to Thursday.
All right.
I like that.
Give my big paw in there.
I want it.
Doug Hancock.
That's gonna look good on you, Doug.
That looks about the right size there too, buddy.
You think?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
You bet.
All right, well, thank you very much. We'll be here again next Thursday, so please join us. You're welcome to hang around as long as you like. Come up and ask Matt